It is 6:35 p.m. on Wednesday, April 25. This is Observatory Place and Davis. This, presumably, is the government property and the residence of the year is 2016 of Vice President Joe Biden, and it is also Observatory Row, Observatory Place, where Carl Sagan was with Jimmy Carter in December of 1977, when they sold out the people and children of the world, including the United States. This is now the residency of Vice President Joe Biden. This is Observatory Place and Davis. This, presumably, is the government property and the residence of the year is 2016 normal time, without time travel, that is, of Vice President Joe Biden, and it is also Observatory Row, Observatory Place, where Carl Sagan was with Jimmy Carter in December of 1977, when they sold out the people and children of the world, including the United States. This is now the residency of Vice President Joe Biden, who, according to a quick news report, he is Ash Wednesday Joe Biden, and you can see his picture days in 2010 of Valentine's, February 13, 2010, and he has an ash on his forehead, and he's with Barack Obama. And one point being that there was a news report back around that time that Joe Biden, the Vice President, landed at Santa Barbara Airport. He used the people's money to land at Santa Barbara Airport. It did not say for what, and it was a brief report. This is Timothy Victor Creer of Boyle on this date, preparing to leave the United States of America, or let us say his country, and the country of Dr. Carl Sagan, who has a hypertesseract as a basal law of nature, which means it is impossible, totally, absolutely, infinitely impossible to do pure gravitational thinking in hierarchical cosmology. Over and out. Goodbye. All right, we are down the street a little bit. There is a vice president's residency where Carl Sagan and Jimmy Carter met, Observatory Row. This is a measure of the rate of acceleration of this piece of wood, is a measure of the field intensity per unit surface area in Structure Law 1, a pure gravitational unified field structure. If I were to hold the radius of the Earth constant and increase the density by 2, this piece of wood would accelerate twice as fast downward. That is according to Albert Einstein's gravitational treatment of the structure of the universe as a whole. Watch it. We'll do it again. Except let's use a small chunk of wood. There is Joe Biden behind. You see it? You could put that in slow motion, and the fact is that, let's say, there are 3 billion children, 2 billion children on the face of the earth at this time, they can understand that very clearly, and the profoundly deep consequences it has in terms of pure gravitational thinking and hierarchical cosmology. Structural law 1, structural law 2, the alpha lattice, my alpha lattice, not Carl Sagan's hypertesseract, is inevitable and the only structural law that fits with structural law 1 infinitely perfectly. There it is. Unfortunately, I don't have an assistant to drop that block of wood. But Joe Biden is too busy flying around on the people's revenue or doing whatever he claims he does.
Hello, my name is Ann Drian. When Carl Sagan, Steven Soder, and I wrote the Cosmos television series in the late 1970s, a lot of things were different. Back then, the United States and the Soviet Union held the whole planet in a perpetual hostage crisis called the Cold War. The wealth and scientific ingenuity of our civilization was being squandered on a runaway arms race that employed more than half the world's scientists and infested the Earth with 50,000 nuclear weapons. To embrace the wonder inherent in this reality, at peace with our self-knowledge, awaken to our responsibilities as a link in the generations past and future, alert to a heightened and more consequential sense of the sacred, long-term thinkers, as Carl was, solid citizens of our planet and the cosmos.
And unexpected discoveries about the cosmos and our place within it. I believe our future depends powerfully on how well we understand this cosmos in which we float like a mote of dust in the morning sky. We wish to pursue the truth no matter where it leads. But to find the truth, we need imagination and skepticism both. We will not be afraid to speculate, but we will be careful to distinguish speculation from fact. The cosmos is full beyond measure of elegant truths, of exquisite interrelationships, of the awesome machinery of nature. The surface of the Earth is the shore of the cosmic ocean. On this shore, we've learned most of what we know. Recently, we've waded a little way out, maybe ankle deep, and the water seems inviting. Some part of our being knows this is where we came from. We long to return. And we can, because the cosmos is also within us. We're made of star stuff. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself.
Quite honestly, I don't feel like doing this. This is not something I'm going to enjoy. Why am I doing it? I have 4 kids. They're all grown up. They're brave people.
The best of Cosmos now
They
leaves our solar
have
network
made their voices heard.
of interstellar space.
My wife is a brave woman. She is making her voices heard. And I think they're simply waiting for me. Where am I? Why aren't I saying something?
The subject of atomic structure
So
and gravity
I've decided
involves dawn
that
interaction.
I will make
The most gifted
a
communicator.
little video and put it on my website. It's a rather popular website. Many people see it.
The emotional
And I am going to say something now that may make you uncomfortable. It makes me very, very uncomfortable. But here it is. I'm going to read it. Like most of you, I am worried about the strange and dangerous things that Trump has done since becoming president. Trashing our closest neighbor, Mexico, dictating a very dangerous immigration policy almost designed to recruit more terrorists, bizarre attacks on our press, an obsession with the size of his crowd. And I'm delighted with the protest movements that have sprung up in response. But I have to say I'm also worried that these things are distractions, designed or not, I don't know, which take attention away from something even more sinister. The most dangerous developments to date only made page 5 in today's Chronicle. The purging of Chairman Dunford of the Joint Chiefs of Staff from the National Security Council. His replacement, a man known for his extreme racism and power hunger, Stephen Bannon. The NEC advises the president, in this case a man of great ignorance and very little curiosity, about security matters. Having the ear of Trump, maybe being Trump's brain, Bannon will be the most powerful person on that council. I don't like melodrama, but this is the way the National Socialists began their power grab. National Socialists, I don't think that is something that Bernie Sanders would have approved of. In case you don't know, National Socialists has another name, Nazis. That's the way the Nazis began their power grab immediately after Hitler became Reich Chancellor. Their first action was to purge the security apparatuses of the German states of all Weimar Democrats and replace them with Nazis, Himmler, Göring, and others. Bannon is a man who would have been very comfortable with that crowd. I am worried that the loose cannon acts, Mexico immigration, size of his rally, blah, 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 are distracting us, while Bannon slides himself into power. Make no mistake, this is a grab by a clever, devious, and power-hungry man. It is a pooch. This may well be the most important target for our protests. Personally, it scares me more than anything else the Orange Godzilla has done. Please don't ignore it, and please respond with action. Please don't ignore it, and please respond with action. Thank you. Thank you. Please don't ignore it, and please respond with action. Thank you. Print the power. Print the power. Make no mistake, this is a grab by a clever, devious, and power-hungry man. Make no mistake, this is a grab by a clever, devious, and power-hungry man. Please don't ignore it, and please respond with action. Thank you.
E equals third equation on the Einstein tablet. E equals m c squared. This, again, is not a structure law. The third equation is not a structure law. Einstein's first equation is a structure law, a powerful structure law. E equals mc squared according to the child's atomistic hierarchy. There is a structure law, which means, according to billions, millions, and millions of children, that the substructure of a proton or neutron is a smaller elementary particle, a smaller universe, which on the structure of the field, which is available on Kindle, describes as a maximum galactic assemblage to the -1. What does that mean? It's very simple. It's a smaller dimension of matter's construction. It has a superposition of gravitational fields from smaller elementary particles of construction, exactly as Carl Sagan says. So we will write it simply as mgA to the -1. mgA to the -1 is a structure law. And Hans Albert Einstein, my dear friend, I'm sure he agreed completely. So we write down the new enriched structure law to E equals mc squared. We're writing it down simply here as a summation, a linear summation. That's what this symbol means. A summation of smaller elementary particle, p to the -1 in the child's atomistic hierarchy, 1 over r squared, Newtonian, Einsteinian gravitational fields. So, from a smaller dimension of matter construction, the gravitational fields from 10 to the 80th of the smaller child's atomistic hierarchy, smaller dimensions of matter construction, their gravitational fields diverge infinitely far right from the surface of our P0 elementary particle, which is a neutron, a proton, electron. And those gravitational fields from a smaller dimension of matter construction diverge like also Sprague Zarathustra and extend into here. This is the child structure law behind E equals mc squared, which you see there. A proton is a maximum, a smaller galactic universe, just as ours is a unit universe as we look outward.